Lesson 10 of the Piano Skills Foundation Intermediate Level 1. Lesson 10 has some fun stuff in it. We're in the key of E for most of it. Then we're going to play a reading exercise in the relative minor, C sharp minor. I want you to just remember to always go slower than I do it on the video when you first start, because I do the videos a little faster. So keep it as slow as you need to, and start and stop the video as much as you need to try to see what's happening. You'll see I've left in a few wonderful errors and mistakes that you get to enjoy. And just want to let you know that when you're practicing, you can enjoy your practice regardless of how many mistakes you make. Just keep working at it until you get your 3 perfect on each phrase. So have a good time and play away. Okay, so here we go with the E major Sakba, which is the first thing on your list for lesson 10. And we're going to go ahead and put the metronome at a nice brisk 160 to the top of the range. Of course, you could go slower, but I want you to see what it would sound like if you're hitting 160. Here's the key of E, middle C's right here. I sort of have to sit off a little bit because of the camera, but let's see if we can do this. And then some arpeggios. Camera tripod is a little close today, but I think we can deal with this. All right, here we go. The 1 chord, 4 chord, back to the 1, and then burlesque. If you wanted to go half that fast, and then the walking arpeggos. Have fun with that. So today we're going to put the major and minor triads at 66. I'm going to start as usual. I don't know if I've told you this before, but I'm starting on middle C, and the left hand's down an octave from there. Right hand's on middle C. Here we go. The minors. And then rolling. Your major and minor triads. Have a good time with that. All right. So For your first reading piece in Lesson 10, we're going to do Sailing in E. This one's a little bit tricky because there are eighth notes in the left hand that go in between the beat. You'll see what I'm talking about all the way through the first two lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the ands all the way through to show you how you should do it. Count those ands out loud, and if you have the quarter note beating 60, for instance, you're going to be saying 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the whole thing. This is a little fast for beginners, but as usual, I'm trying to just give you a feel for it. You should probably go a little bit slower and maybe no metronome at first. But here's how it goes. I'm going to play the left hand first because it's kind of the rhythmical basis for this first two lines. I'm going to play the left hand, counting the ands, and we're going to change the pedal every time on beat 1, which is kind of natural because the left hand plays its bottom note on 1, you'll see. So this is the beginning first line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and change and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and that was the left hand on the first line. Once you get that mastered, the right hand, watch the fingerings closely, it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and change and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that's the right hand. When you put them together, they sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And you'll notice I'm trying to make my right hand louder than my left because the right hand has the melody. So hopefully you can do a little bit of that as well. Once you've mastered that first line, move on to the second line. I don't know why I'm showing you the metronome. I should be showing you this. The second line, ready? Here we go. Well, let's do the left hand first. The left hand starts to move around a little bit here, and you'll be tempted to change the pedal when it moves, but only change the pedal on beat 1, okay? If you want to experiment with changing on 4, you could, but I think it'll sound better if you just change it on 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and change. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Fifth finger up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and that takes us to the third line. Once you get that left hand learned, the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, okay? Now once you get the right hand memorized, sorry, not memorized, we're not memorizing, we're just trying to get it read and learn how to play it. So now once you can play the right hand, let's do both hands until you get 3 perfects. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Oh my goodness, I just totally blew the ending. This is how it's supposed to go. Here we go. Starting with measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3. I still blew it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay? So now, since I just blew the second line, I want to play the whole second line again. You're supposed to get 3 perfect. I should get at least 1. So here's the way it's supposed to go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Much better. All right, so that's the right hand and the left hand together on the second line. Once you've learned that and got your 3 perfect, put those 2 lines together. But I'm going to move on to the third line. Now, the cool thing about the third line and the fourth line is that you do not have to do hand separate practice because you'll notice they don't even play together. So I'm just going to go all the way through each line once so you can see what it sounds like. Hopefully I won't screw it up like I did on the second line. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 do that till you get 3 perfects, and then of course put them all together. And now when you get to the last line, you'll notice it's the same texture. There's a ritardando in at the end, which means you get to slow down. I'm not going to use that yet. I'll use that when I play through the whole piece. But for now, we'll just stick with our slow 60 tempo all the way. So the 4th line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Now I just messed up the fingering pretty badly right in here. You go back, watch the video, you'll see how I mess it up. Now I want to show you the right way to play it. See if you can catch the fingering better on this one. It goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then start with second finger, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Much better. Okay, after 4 beats, off. So here I go. I'm going to try to play the whole piece for you. Hopefully you've done each line 3 perfect at this point. It might take you a few days to even get to this point where you're ready to try the whole piece and move your way up. But I'm going to go ahead and put it at 72, which is the low end of the range. Hopefully I don't mess it up too much. Counting out loud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you heard me sort of ignore the metronome at the very end because of the ritardando, which you could do too. Sorry about the stop and go in the second line. I screwed it up, but I like to leave mistakes in there once in a while so you know it's okay to make mistakes. And you could do it over and over till you get it right. I'm going to see if I can get it right up at 120, which if you stick with this piece long enough, you might be able to do this while reading it and counting. So I'm going to put it at 120 here. And let's see what happens. You know what, because of the slowdown at the end, and I just realized I never told you about the poco ritardando right here, which means you get to slow down a little bit. That would have helped me play it better, I think. But I'm going to turn the metronome off after I kind of get a feel for 120. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then I'll play through it and put those little slowdowns at the end of each section. So 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 So, well, I kind of screwed it up again on that second line, but hopefully you can get a feel for what the thing does and enjoy playing that. Okay, so the next reading piece is called the C-sharp minor Lament, which is in the key that's related to the key of E. It's the minor key. We haven't learned those scales yet, but you should have no trouble trying to figure this out. I'm going to go ahead and start with the left hand. I want you to notice at the beginning I've added a pedal marking. A little dab of pedal just right here at the beginning. You can add this on your own because I've discovered it sounds better if you connect that first note with the pedal. And you'll see that when I do the right hand, but I'm going to go ahead and do the left hand first since I told you I would. And this piece is so slow, we're just going to go right up to the speed. You can obviously start much slower and work your way up to this, but this will hopefully give you a feel for it. The left hand has a C-sharp minor chord. This is the 1 chord in the C-sharp minor, and then it goes to the 4 chord in the next measure, back to 1, and then there's a 5 and a 5/7. So I put the entire C-sharp minor cadence into the left hand here. So here we go. 4, 1, and 2, and 3. You're going to play these chords very softly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. You're changing pedal on every beat. 1, 1. Every time your chords change, actually, you change pedal. So hopefully you got that. Once your left hand is mastered, then it's time for the right hand. And remember, I put a pedal on this, so on the first note, pedal it. It's 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4 and 1. Now, of course, when you put these two together, you'll notice the syncopation with the right hand coming in between the chords. It goes like this. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4 and 1. Okay, and that was the first line. I'm going to move my music over so I can see it better. Now I'm going to do the left hand first again on the second line. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1. And you'll notice the left hand takes over the melody there, so the left hand will start coming out stronger. Once you get that left hand mastered on the second line, it's time for the right hand, starting with the thumb on G sharp. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then the right hand starts playing the chords. Okay, so that's the third line where you start that. So on this second line, hopefully you notice there's a little bit of extra pedal change on beat 3 here. We had that up on the first line too, so just be aware of the pedal changes because I don't say them a whole lot now. I'm expecting you've pretty much figured out how to do pedalings. Let's put the hands together and you're going to get 3 perfect on line 2. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. Notice how the left hand was stronger at the end because that's where the melody comes in. Now, of course, you could put those 2 lines together, the first 2 lines, after you get 3 perfects on each. But I'm going to go ahead and do, starting at measure 9. Let's do the right hand first since it has the chords. Measure 9. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then the 4 chord. 2, change pedal on 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Change pedal again, 4 and 1. So that time we did the entire cadence in the right hand. The left hand goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and change and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now I'm going to put them together after you've mastered each one. 1 and 2 and 3. Oh my goodness, I screwed it up. Let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and once you have that third line mastered, put the first 3 lines together. I will now do the 4th line, right hand. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Oops, I changed the pedal at the end. You probably shouldn't do that. So right hand, once you get that mastered, it's time for the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, I missed a note in here. I'll show you where I screwed it up. Right in the middle of this measure. So I want to do that left hand one more time so you can hear what it really sounds like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and mastered the left hand. We put the hands together. Now, there is a ritardando written in here. This is a little RIT, which means you get to slow down at the end. So instead of playing it with a metronome on this line, I'm going to go ahead and feel the beat and then turn it off. 1, 2. Okay, I think I've got it. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3. All right, I had a little hesitation there, but hopefully you got the idea. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the whole piece. Again, I think we'll leave the metronome off so you can hear the whole thing with that little slow down at the end. And plus on a piece like this, you want to keep it steady, but also get a little take a little bit of time here and there to make it more musical. So that's kind of the general beat we're going to use. Here's what the whole piece sounds like after you've mastered each line. That was your C-sharp minor lament. Have fun with that. All right, so now the piece that you're memorizing for lesson 10 and continuing from lesson 9 is our minuet in G. You'll notice that the section that we're supposed to work on today has a whole line that's an exact repeat of what you know up here. So what I want to do today is I want to start with the part you don't know and review that. We're going to learn that and then review this line, which is the same as the first, so that you can go ahead and practice both of those the way you should. And then the way I'm practicing this is the way you should review these as well. So obviously, once you've worked on this one, you don't necessarily need to work on the first line, though it does go to a different spot. You'll notice that the notes are the same. The fingerings are slightly different. So I'm going to go ahead and practice starting at measure 13, 13 and 14, and then 15 and 15 and 16, and then you have to take this one to a repeat, and also you have to be able to go here. So I'll do that both ways. So let's go ahead and do that first. Starting at measure 13, we have right hand with the 5th finger on E, and we're going to count it like this: 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and then 3rd finger, first note of the next one. Okay, so that was measure 13 and 14 on line D, as I have it labeled. Now the left hand, once you've got your right hand memorized, left hand is rolling a chord. It rolls this, 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 and it's nice. If you notice, it's a C major chord. So you already know this chord. It's a little stretchy fingering, 3, 2, 1. And in the next measure, you're going to use a 4, 2, 1 on another chord you're kind of familiar with. This is a G chord. It's been inverted from here to here. So that's the left hand. And then we go back to C. So memorizing it by doing this and then this, that's called blocking, and then the first note, okay? So here we go. This is measure 13 counting. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1. Okay, and once you have that left hand learned, put them together and it sounds like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1. And you have your 3rd fingers to end, okay? Now do that till you get 3 perfect. And then once you get that 3 perfect, this one, then we'll do this. The first time I do this, I want to go ahead and do the right hand from here to there. And then I'm going to do it again from here to there, okay? So right hand has a triplet. We're going to go triplet, 2, 3, and then 1. So we switch to a thumb on that. Now when you do it going, that's when you take the repeat. Now when you do it going to the next part, you just have to play the G with the third finger. So we're going to go triplet, 2, try 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you just stay right there with the third finger. So that's pretty easy. So memorize it both ways. And then the left hand, triplet, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the beginning, 1. The thumb ends up on G. Now, if you go ahead and do it again, going to the next line, then you have triplet, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it just goes to a different place. Now, I'm going to put the hands together, your third finger, you've got both parts memorized, and put them together till you get 3 perfect, like this. Triplet, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the beginning. Okay, so 1 or 2 perfects to the beginning, and then do it again, going on to the next line, which would be like this. Triplet, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the first note. So not a huge difference, but you have to be able to go both ways. Now, after you've gotten 3 perfect, maybe 4 are perfect, maybe 2 to here and then 2 to here, then do the whole line with a stop in the middle. And when I do it with a stop, I'm going to take the repeat, and then when I do it without the stop, I'll go on to the next line so we cover both bases. So here we go. The whole line with a stop in the middle. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and stop. Triplet, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the beginning. And then when you do it without the stop, it sounds like this, and I'm going to go on to the next line. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and triplet, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, and so that was measure 13 through 16. Now I'm going to go ahead and do measures 9 through 12, even though they're the same as the first line. So just to show you how you can be practicing these, I'll get through them quickly because you've done them before. Measure 9 goes like this, right hand. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 3, 1. Okay, and then the left hand, after you've got your right hand rememorized, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And then both hands. 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, and you do that till you get 3 perfect. Then, of course, the next 2 measures, very, very similar. Right hand is the same. 2 and 3 and 1, 2. But it goes to 5th finger on E. That's the one difference from the first line, which goes to a different finger. So now you've got that, and then the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1. And then, once you have that learned, both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Okay. Now, of course, once you've practiced each one of these, 3 perfect, then we're going to do the whole line with a stop, which goes like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, stop, and then 1, 2, and 3, and 1. And after you've done it with a stop, then go ahead and do it all the way 3 perfect, and I'm going to go ahead and go all the way, and I'm going to add the next line that we've already done, and I think I'll just go to the next line. So this is a good example of how you can practice and learn this part. Here we go. 1, 2, to the next line. Oops, wrong finger. Got it right that time. So, all right, so, and then, of course, on your lesson sheet, you notice you're supposed to go ahead and review this line as well, and this one, but you've already done that here. So if you just did one more line, you have done a great practice. Get that for this week's lesson. You'll have this whole first section. Hope you're having fun with that.